there and welcome back. Well, I want to talk to you about Sekai no Owari, let me try that again. Sekai no Owari. I'm butchering it, aren't I? Sekai no Owari. Their new song Habit. I want to talk to you about the song Habit, okay? Because this is a band who I've always had a little bit of interest in, but I must admit I've never covered them that much. And then obviously with the song Habit, they've charted very well recently. And I was kind of interested by that because the thing which is so good, always so wonderful about Japan is that when songs chart well here, doesn't necessarily mean they're the kind of minimalist pop that seems to have taken over the charts in a lot of the rest of the world, specifically the Western world. Yeah, I know we get good songs elsewhere, but a lot of the time when you have songs charting well in Japan, they sometimes have really fantastic musicianship still at the core. And this is a group who I know have really produced some fantastic songs in the past, so I wanted to get a little flavour for this. So, what is this song? Well, as you can imagine, it is a catchy pop song, yes. But at the heart of it, we've got something of a bit of a Latin feel. It certainly does feel like it's a fairly mellow song, but there's a lot of rhythm going on there, and I liked how that was delivered. Now, at the core, we have a drum and bass section, the rhythm section being quite subdued, quite simple throughout this song. That's not where the complexity so much is coming in. The beat itself, fairly on the money on the beat, nothing particularly interesting happening there, but there's little rhythmic touches in between the beats, in between the kicks and the snares that keep it a little bit interesting, give it a little bit of subtle rhythm. The bass itself is not doing anything too complicated, especially in the chorus. It's just sort of hitting really on the note, but it's kind of got just one note before the first. So you got boom, boom, boom. Not really too complicated, but just enough to make sure there's just a little bit of rhythm in there. It's very simple, the rhythmic section of this song, but that's mainly because it's giving room for some quite interesting, playful stuff on the top layer. Now, what we've got here for a start is that unlike a lot of those, you think of like popular songs, you think of guitar, you often think of something quite simple, chugging along. But here, the guitars are constantly moving. Again, the chorus is a place where you really get to hear a lot of complexity. You've got guitars happening in your left and right ear, and both of them are moving. They're playing sort of running, walking lines that stop them from ever sounding static, but beautifully play off each other. Having those two guitars as well stops it sounding too much like you're having to concentrate on a complicated guitar line in something which is supposed to be an accessible pop song, because they kind of counter off of each other. They almost sort of become this thing that becomes a subconscious sort of fast moving activity in both of your ears. I like that. I like that the guitar plays something of a sort of almost a background, but a very colourful role in this song. It's not pushed to the front as it would be a lot with a lot of rock bands. It's there to add colour, and it does it beautifully. I imagine if you took the guitar out of this song, it would sound very empty. The guitars are doing a lot, and it really does give a lot of character to this song. And then on top of that, we have a vocal line that's actually quite quick in the choruses. It's not like one of your big sing-along sort of slow choruses that they just expect, hey, everyone get this stuck in your head by singing it with me. No, this is a fast-moving one. Again, giving it a bit of that sort of Latin feel, but it is something, but it is still getting caught in your head. It's not so much a sing-along chorus, but it's one that just in its pure rhythmic fun and joy does get stuck in your head. Now, as I say, the tone of this song is somewhat more chilled out. It's got a very chilled out vibe. It's one of those pop songs that is, I keep on calling it a pop song, which almost feels like I'm being, kind of playing it down a little bit. But in actuality, you know, I've always been very pro pop in the, you know, pop just means popular. And if you do good music and it's popular, then why can't pop be good? And as this is effectively a popular song, a pop song, I think that it does a really good job of sort of doing that in a sort of chilled out way. Again, very accessible way. And one of the aspects that really worked for me about this, both in that Latin feel and in that pop feel, was the use of the electric organ. I've always liked that sort of electric organ sound when you can put that into a pop or a rock song, but here it's nicely done, especially in the sort of latter half of the chorus, the way it adds a little bit of adds a sort of an atmosphere to there, adds a little bit of a sort of introspective, thoughtful tone at the end of each chorus. The use of sounds here, the use of those slower notes on the electric organ, the use of the punchiness of the drums and bass, the use of the sort of more background but complex guitar lines playing in both ends, both sides of the headphones, and the quick vocals that are catchy but at the same time really rhythmic and kind of urgent. It just gives this song a tone that is very very atmospheric, very easy to get into, and yet, you know, sort of accessible, and yet with a degree of depth. It's something that feels like it's not trying to push you away, but also wants to give you a lot of interesting sounds. There's a lot going on in there. That's a very, it's a very basic review. It has a lot of sounds. So, if that's my conclusion, then yeah, what would we say? But yeah, basically, in conclusion, I think this is a song that has so much going for it, all those things that I have broken down, that I think that it is definitely one that you could churn through a few times. You could get more on multiple listens. I certainly found that when I was up to my fourth or fifth listen, I had more, you know, more things that I was finding and really appreciating than on the first listen. But I don't think you need to have multiple listens to get into it. So for me, this is definitely a song that I would recommend, whether you be someone who's a fan of interesting musicianship, interesting sounds, or if you just like a good pop song, as what 80 million people appear to have so far. It is definitely a sign that I really like to show that this band is doing good quality music and making it popular. I still never got over the guy with the clown mask. That was always something that I'm sure that if you're a fan, feel free to get into the comments and explain that one to me, but I never got over it. It's not a good look. But hey, I guess it does kind of make you, it makes you stand out in photographs, doesn't it? So yeah, certainly if you want to get noticed, that's one thing to do, but it's not a good look. And anyway, there you go. That was my kind of thrown together review of Habit by Sekai No Owari. And until I hopefully see you either in the comments or on the next one of these videos, for now, ciao ciao.